UltraCycling Magazine Show.
Well, hello, Jim.
Hello, Lee. Sorry, I'm having a problem with our provider.
Yeah, we are having a little technical difficulty here. We had Elena on a week or so ago doing a trailer, and it worked just fine, and she's having trouble connecting, and Jim's working on that. And I guess we're going to go ahead here and see if we can't get her connected in some fashion. I don't know what the problem is. We've checked everything, but who knows? I mean, it's crazy.
I'm gonna have to drop out and see if I can get back in because I can't see anything.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, all right, Jim will be back. Hopefully, Elena will be back. Goodness gracious, what a way to have a beautiful stay. Well, anyhow, we're glad to have you here on the Ultra Cycling Magazine, and hopefully, we'll get Elena in here before long. Gee whiz, and we've got people waiting to talk to her. Wow. Let's see. Well, anyhow, if I sound discombobulated, it's because I am.
Okay, I'm back, Lee. Sorry about that.
You're back, but Elena is not.
Nope, and I do not see anything wrong.
I wonder what would happen, Jim, if we delete her and add her again and give her a new.
We can give that a shot.
New address. You have her on the email, do you?
I'm trying to get that back up, so I'm just having all kinds of technical problems this morning.
Well, talk to the people. I can do that.
Okay, go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and start. Sorry about that, everybody. This is the UltraCycling Magazine Show, a show about all things ultracycling and bicycling. Go ahead and we will do the sponsors. Basically, the UltraCycling Magazine Show is sponsored by our time stations here in Ohio, which is where? I don't see that video, Lee.
It should be in the here.
Huh. It's time station 41 Oxford, time station 42 Blanchester, and 43 Chillicothe. We thank all of our great volunteers that help us with the race, and Mike Minium, the sign man. He puts out signs all across Ohio on the route for our racers and for visibility for the drivers in the area. And they're a great thing to have as a souvenir. You can buy one at the time stations, and $10 will get you one. So please don't take them off the route for us.
Yeah, I'm working on getting her.
No problem, Lee.
Here.
I'll go ahead and talk about let me get back up. Where's the other? We're just not doing any good. This is really weird, Lee. I'm losing scenes. Can you drop that video off? Because there's Elena. She's on. Because I can't take the video off. We got a blank screen, Lee. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to get back to this and figure out where we're at. I'm lost.
Talk about something interesting while I try to get her a new.
Yep, she's on though.
There she is.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh. Hello.
Yeah, we'll be with you in 1 second.
Glad to have you with us. I don't know what happened, but praise God from whom all blessings flow. Okay. I mean, we sound like we don't know what we're doing, don't we,
Today
Jim?
we don't.
And
This has been my week.
and 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 we certainly do not. Lena, we've got some news to take care of. You know,
Yep.
things we talk about before we go online. We'll be with you shortly. Okay.
Yeehaw. Okay.
Okie doke.
So
Have we done? We've done the time stations.
stations, and then I don't see the video for the Facebook either, Lee.
Okay, it's. I know where it's at.
Okay.
And well, yeah, we can hear you fine. Yeah, we'll get to you here in a bit. Well, we want you to follow us on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. And let's see what else.
Yeehaw. I'll get the ticker going about.
All right, we're talking about the race across the east. We have a little clip here from Tim Harbison on the race across the east. Jim,
Yes, sir.
wait a minute, that's not Tim Harbison. There he is.
Okay, hi. My name's Tim Harvison. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Currently signed up to do the race across the East. This is going to be my first endeavor to do an ultra cycling event. We have a pretty good crew of 4 members, including myself. We have what we think is a pretty good, solid plan, and we're hoping to be competitive for this first event. We would love to have you guys come out and join us and support all the racers, just not us.
Excellent. Oh, boom. Where'd that come from?
Oh, it's me.
I'm not touching nothing, Lee. My hands are off the keyboard.
I know.
There we go. Okay. Now, and on the race across the east, etc. Let's talk about the what we see so far as registration on RAM and race across the east and Raw. Overall, for RAM, we have looks like 38 total people registered so far, and for race across the east, we have 18, and Raw we have 7. For race across the For RAM, we have 2 persons, 16 8-persons, and 20 solos. For Race Across the East, we have 2 2-person, 1 4-person, and then 12 solo. So we're doing good there. And for Raw, we have 7, which is 2 2-persons and 3 solos. So we need to get more registrations out there. So I don't think the price goes up to what, May? Next time I think it goes up, Lee?
I think registration's ends on March 1st.
March 1st.
There's
Yep.
a penalty after that.
Yes.
And they'll take registrations up till May, but there's a penalty after March 1st.
Correct. So if you're going to do this, get out there and get registered and save yourself some money, and that way you can have the planning and everything else you need done.
Sebring's coming along well, Jim. We got 52 there. Coal Country, we're glad for 46 people there.
Definitely.
And Calvin's Challenge this year is going to be the North American Championship.
Mm-hmm.
So far, we only got 10 there, but hey, come over to Springfield, Ohio, and show some love.
Definitely.
And you have a chance at the North American Championship. And then we just had a big announcement yesterday.
Definitely a great announcement.
From Joe Lohorn, and I was able to talk to Joe yesterday and got this.
Hello, I'm Joe Lawhorn, and I'm happy to announce that we are going to be holding the 6-12-24 Midwest Time Trial Championships July 26th, 2025 in Chillicothe, Ohio at the Gearhart Farms. This will be the same kind of format as the Mid-Atlantic Championship or the 6-12-24 World Time Trial Championships. It is a 19-mile loop, super flat with only 186 feet of elevation per lap. You can run it as a soloist, a relay. You can do the 6-hour, 12-hour, or 24-hour time periods and try to rack up as many miles as you can. We're also happy to announce that it is going to be a Race Across America qualifier. Males need to score 400 miles in the non-drafting category in 24 hours, and the females 370 miles in 24 hours. We hope you can join us July 26, 2025.
And
That is awesome. Yes.
Jim, I'm real excited. I think you are too, to have another big race come to Ohio.
Definitely.
I saw so many positive comments on his announcement on
Yes.
Facebook. I hope those positive comments turn into registrations. He doesn't have a link yet because he only
Right.
just found out a day or so ago that it's a RAM qualifier.
Right.
And so he was kind of holding off on that till he did that. So as soon as we have a link to register
Mm-hmm.
for the Midwest Time Trials, we'll get it up there. And this should be really, really exciting. Listen, I have a video here from next week from Carol McNern. I'm going to pass on that, Jim, because
Okay.
we want to get to Elena. We've held her off long enough with all this confusion and what have you, don't you think?
I think I totally agree, Lee. Yes. So let's go ahead and bring her on. Oh, there we go. Excellent. Hey,
Yeah.
Elena.
Hi, Elena.
Hi.
Hey, I don't know what kind of problems. We'll have to talk about that when we get off the air. If you can stay on a little bit, see if we can figure out what went wrong and something we can fix in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But we're glad to have you with us.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Okay. I see a little bit of delay there, don't you, Jim?
Yes, I agree. Yes.
So that might be a part of the issue. I don't
Yes.
know.
I think it is.
Well, Elena, you first of all, you caught our attention by being the overall winner on the Race Around Austria. But before that, tell us a little bit about your cycling background.
And how you got into the long distance ultra
How
component.
you got into this crazy stuff we do?
Yeah.
Well, I did a lot of running in school.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't grow up cycling a lot. And then when I was studying, I did an internship in a big triathlon hotel in Spain. And I got in contact with cycling, and had the chance to buy a really cheap road bike for just a few €100. And well, I just rode like a little bit, maybe like, I don't know, 1 or 2 rides a week with like 30 kilometers, something like that, just next to running. And then but I had always followed like Christoph Strasser, and we have so many great role models in Austria. And so I always found the sports of like the ultra distances fascinating because of what goes on in the mind and what role the mind plays next to just being physically fit. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll try that someday, but that wasn't really the plan in the near future for me. And I just did some like Gran Fondos and like cycling marathons. And then what actually changed the plan to do it sooner was when COVID hit. All the races, like the amateur races, were canceled, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was only Race Around Austria could take place because you start like solo, and Race Around Niederösterreich. And so I watched Race Around Austria just like next to the road, and I was just in that moment that I thought I have to do that myself. It looks so cool. And then Race Around Niederösterreich was just a month later, so I signed up spontaneously, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna try it. I had no idea if I would be able to make it in the cutoff time. And then, well, it actually went much better than I had thought, and I could win the race. And so it was supposed to be like a one-time thing, just to try it out once. And yeah.
So
kind of.
are you hooked now? Are
Yeah,
you are
that
you
was
addicted?
4 years ago. So I have been hooked ever since, I guess.
Awesome.
Well, and then we didn't get that on the title slide, but you come over here to the World Time Trial Championships
Mhm.
and you blow that place away. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, that was a race that I had been wanting to do for the last 2 years. Like the first time I signed up for it was in 2022, but then I got really bad knee problems, so I had to cancel the race again. And so 2 years ago, when I couldn't do it, I was like, maybe this year. Then I thought it was too expensive, but then in the end, it worked out. So I was really happy that I could be here. And of course, I mean, it was the race was really hard, especially when the wind got so strong on the second
Mhm.
day. But I'm glad that I could push through, and it was so cool that Philip Keider, who won the men's race, he's Austrian as well, and he's a friend and such a great rider. And so it was really cool that we both as Austrians could win the race.
Well, the thing I was interested in, Elena, was of course the race was cut short because of the sandstorm by 30 minutes.
Hmm.
I believe you had what, 488 miles plus something?
Um, Yeah, I guess so. It was like 786 kilometers. I'm not sure what's that exactly in
Well,
mind.
yeah, we do the old fashioned stuff over here. We haven't caught up with the modern world.
There you
So
go.
But it must have been
maybe
something
someday, maybe
bad.
someday, I can only hope. But at any rate, here in old fashioned money, it was 488 point something.
Yep.
I was going to look it up, but confusion. And the race was stopped 30 minutes early. I was speculating that if they hadn't cut it short, you might have hit the 500-mile mark, which is kind of a goal a lot of people shoot for.
I'm not sure. I think like until it was like 12 o'clock or 1 p.m., something around that, when before the wind got really bad.
Mhm.
I always calculated how like what kind of pace I still needed to achieve the 500 miles, and how much I had to like spare maybe. And I was pretty sure that if I could like maintain the wattage more or
Mhm.
less, then I would be able to do it. But then when the wind got so strong, my pace got so slow that I'm not sure if it might have been one short lap too less to achieve the 500 miles. I might have been able to. I'm not sure, but
But you were
anyways.
very, very close. Let's put it that way.
Very
Excellent.
close. And
That's outstanding.
let's interrupt here to say we want you to make your comments out there
Definitely.
and
Yep.
questions. Just use the comment section on Facebook or YouTube so you can talk to Elena. Um, you might have a question, you might have a comment, you might want to just give her a kudo. She certainly deserves them.
Definitely.
Um, well, tell us a little bit about conditions there. How I understand that there's a real sandstorm at the end.
Yeah, I mean, at the end it got really bad. I guess I'm not sure if that's like usual in the desert, because I spent a few days before the race for acclimatization in
Mhm.
Palm Springs, and the wind was really bad there. One day as well. The other days it was fine, but just one day it was really strong as well. So I'm not sure how often that actually happens in the desert, but yeah, I mean, during the night it was fine. In the morning it was fine. It was just slightly windy, but I mean, nothing to worry about. But then on the big lap, the part where you go up the little hill, um, it was like headwind going up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a bit frustrating, but it wasn't dangerous. And then the part where you just go down back to a Christmas circle,
Mm-hmm.
it was really bad crosswinds, and that was was kind of dangerous. I just tried to, and I think everyone did, to like hold on to my bike, but the wind really pushed you like of 1 or 2 meters sideways sometimes.
Wow.
And so I think they changed to the short lap like 2.5 hours before the end of the race, which they normally do just I guess 1.5 hours before the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first laps, like the first 1 or 2 laps on the short one, were good, but because the wind wasn't that strong there. But then it got worse and worse with each lap. So in the end, it was the sand, like you said, it was a real sandstorm. The sand was blowing up, and yeah.
What's
Jim,
been your biggest challenge in ultracycling racing?
um, I think it's not for me. It hasn't been like the training itself, but getting everything organized
Mm-hmm.
next to like normal job and everything else, because I feel like the whole organization of supported races, that's what really where you have to put in so much energy with all the logistics and getting the right people. And I mean, it always pays off in the end. It's such each race is such a cool experience, but still um, the training itself is one thing, but the whole organizational part is another, I think.
Excellent. Lee?
do you have you done or would you anticipate doing unsupported racing?
I did one this year. It's called funny enough, it's called Race Across Austria. So yeah, and it's so confusing. Like everyone confuses them, race
Mm-hmm.
around and race across Austria,
Right.
because the name is so similar. But it's really across. So you start in the very east of the country, and then just cross to the very far in the western part. That was unsupported. That was this May, and the weather was really really bad there. They had to change the route twice because it was snowing so much, and
Wow.
it was so cold. So yeah, it was a real challenge, but I liked it. It was cool. Cool.
Now, did you have to bivouac on that race or you just race right on through?
I booked an accommodation once
So you
for
stayed in an inn or something.
Yeah.
yeah, just a hotel where I did a self check-in, and I slept for 1.5 hours and then continued.
Wow. Excellent job.
Do you consider other unsupported where you would have to bivouac? Is that something you consider?
Yeah, I'd love to do more of them. I think it's just such a different challenge, and like both supported and unsupported have their own different challenges. But I have been bikepacking like just for holidays over the last years. At least try to go at least twice or 3 times a year, just for myself. And that's I like the spirit of being out on your bike the whole day on your own. I also like supported races, of course, but I think being completely on your own, doing everything on your own, and like being responsible for every decision and not being able to rely on your team is also something that's really exciting. So yeah.
How do you handle the mental aspect of the long rides? Do you have a method to your madness, or is it come natural for you?
Um, I do have a few tools that I use.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me, it's very important to have like a clear goal when
Mm-hmm.
I start into the race, because I think like for me it would be really hard when it gets really tough in the race, and when you get some pain or when there are some challenges, if I didn't have like a really clear goal. And some people always say that like during a race they ask themselves, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And I've never had that problem, but I think if I'd ask myself during a race, why am I doing that? I think that would be really hard. So yeah, knowing like why I do something when it gets hard, and then connected to that, visualization.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I use a lot. Not only imagining how I get to the finish line, like, or how the feeling will be at the finish line, but also special moments during the race, for example, or moments with my team, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then positive self-talk. I sometimes use, and not sure if you know that, it's called like the stop technique.
Mm-hmm.
It's where you imagine that stop sign when you get into like a circle where your thoughts spin like in a negative
Yep.
direction. Um, what else? Setting like an anchor when I do this, for example, with my fingers,
Mm-hmm.
to just make the visualization stronger. Um, when you have like a certain anchor that you can always use,
Yep.
it's like conditioning yourself to that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's
That's
great tips.
interesting. Now, when you visualize, do you visualize a short goal like the next milepost, or do you visualize the finishing?
Both.
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 So just different moments, like moments in the race. For example, I sometimes I visualize like a special sunrise or sunset
Mm-hmm.
or night sky. Sometimes it's not really a moment. It's just a feeling, like how I feel really free when I'm going down somewhere, or certain type of music. And then sometimes I also visualize being at the finish line, and how high I feel, which music I'll hear, what everyone will say, these kind
Gotcha.
of things. Yeah.
Now, do you ride to a plan, or do you ride to your? I take it you use wattage a lot for your, I guess your pace. Is that how you typically ride a long race, or do you kind of plan out? You want to be here by this time, etc.
In a race, you mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I have like a range that in like a really long race,
Mm-hmm.
like Race Around Austria, for example, I have a range that I try to stick to.
Mm-hmm.
And on the second or third day, then it always goes down, obviously. But then um, yeah, and then I have another range for like hilly sections where I can be have a higher wattage, but yeah, kind of a certain wattage which I don't have, shouldn't exceed.
Gotcha. Excellent. So, what's your next big plan or next big race you're going to do?
The next one will be in May next year. The Race Around Niederösterreich. It will be the European Championships,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like the area where I grew up. So like the race route is goes by really close to the town where I grew up in. So that's the first race that I talked about before, which I did. And I've done it 3 times, and it's always so special because there are so many emotions connected to that race, and I'm really looking forward to race that. And I think it's really cool that the European Championships will take place, and I hope that especially many women will sign up for it
Definitely.
next year.
Lee?
Well, I'm going to ask you to force project a little further out.
Mm-hmm.
Got any long-term goals? Anything in your bucket list? Do you think sometime in the future I'd like to do?
Well, unsupported races, I would love to do the transcontinental race.
Mm-hmm.
This year, they just announced this year's route, which sounds really cool. It starts in Santiago de Compostela in Spain, and it ends in Constanta in Romania,
Wow.
and has some really cool checkpoints. But I think for this year it would be too much and too long, as I've never done such a long unsupported race before.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, RAM would be amazing, but as you know, for Europeans, it's quite expensive, and I'm not sure if I will be able to get the financing right to do that.
Well, Elena, that seems to be the conversation we're having all over the place
Definitely.
regarding RAM. But I noticed there's another. They had the Via race last year, and that was from southern Spain to southern Italy, the Hannibal route. And they have just announced a new route. They're going to do a new route this year. I don't know if you saw that or not.
No, what's the new route like?
I don't. Well, I don't want to say. I saw the map, but I my brain is lost.
I have to look it up.
Yeah.
I haven't
But
seen
it's
it.
very different. It's very different from the route last year.
Cool. Okay.
I think it's going to take in more of Northern Europe as well.
Mhm.
So that's
Oh, that's pretty cool in summer when you've got all the midnight sun and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That must be
Yeah.
really cool as well.
yeah.
Excellent.
Well, listen, hey, I am so sorry we had so much trouble getting you on here, and I want to thank Loretta for popping in here. She's the only comment that showed up.
Yeah. We had people watching, so I don't know why.
Yeah, we had people watching. I guess they just had learned everything they wanted to learn about you.
Definitely. It was very good. Very good talk.
And it was sure glad to have you here.
Yes.
We hope that we'll be watching, and maybe sometime in the future when you have some other plans, we'll get you on here again.
Cool. Would be really nice.
Yeah. Thank you again.
And I want to say, Jim, we had such a aborted start. And don't go away, Elena, because we want to try to diagnose what happened here a little bit. Maybe you can help us with some things. But we had forgot to mention that all these races we mentioned, we have the links on the show notes, which you'll find at ucm.bike.
Definitely.
And just go to this video for this show, and below there, you'll see the links to all these races if you want to sign up for one of them, except for the Midwest, which we don't have the link yet.
Right.
But as soon as we do, it'll go on there.
Definitely.
Is there anything else we missed, Jim?
I don't think so. I got
crazy
kind of
start
I
that
know
we
all out of whack today. So hopefully we'll do better next time for sure.
Yeah, well, we were just thrown for a total loop, and I mean, Elena had been on before for the trailer, no
Right.
problems, and now we had all kinds of difficulties. But we're going
Technology.
to try to work on this, see if it was something on our end or what. But
Excellent.
so with that, I think we're going to find Gregory. He's down here somewhere. Where the heck is he at?
See, that's what I've been having problems too. I got a closing. You want me to hit that?
You see it?
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
This is Gregory Zuber, thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.